3.
Good evening, class. My name is Larry. There is an intriguing, mysterious, and ancient technique that dates all the way back to the times of the Egyptians. An illustration found in the 15th Beni Hassan tomb of the unknown prince. And in the illustration are female dancers and acrobats juggling. In ancient China, warriors used to demonstrate their juggling skills to fend off attacks and conflicts from enemies. In the Middle Ages, people thought that those who practiced juggling were thought to be practicing witchcraft, and they were considered to be outcasts from society. But fortunately for me, those days are dead and gone, or else I would be strung up outside facing my executioner as the crowd chants, "Devil, devil, devil!" Because what I've just shown you is the first step in learning how to juggle. Passing one ball back and forth as your hands and eyes work together, coordinating where the ball is going to land. And all you need to do to learn this step is just have one ball. A lot of patience and concentration, and that's it. This is the first step to learning how to juggle. Now, what I'm going to show you tonight is actually the 3-ball cascade. It's essentially the most generic form of juggling. And I'll show you a couple other techniques, but I won't go into detail. To do the 3-ball cascade, you need 3 balls. But, since I've already shown you the first step, I will show you the second. And the second step, I'll go into more detail with the first step, just so you understand how this actually works, because there's more than meets the eye with this. This might look simple, and almost anyone could do this, but what's actually happening here is I'm not looking down at my hand to see where the ball is going. My eyes are telling my hands where the ball is going, and my hand ends up there. And to do this, you start with one hand holding the ball out in front, while the other remains at your side. And remaining with your eyes on the ball, you toss the ball up no higher than your head. And then as it begins to fall, you put your other hand out, keeping your eye on the ball, and your hand is coordinated with your eyes, and your hand lands right where the ball is going, like so. Okay, so that's how you do this, the proper way when you're learning a juggle. Now, we can incorporate the second ball. And much like the first, you're going to throw the ball up no higher than your head. And this time, as the first ball you throw up begins to fall, you throw the second. And it goes like this. Just like that. And you actually start to hear a rhythm in this step. 1, 2. 1, 2. And that rhythm is actually what drives juggling for me, is that rhythm. But when you do this, it's the same as the first. You want to visualize what happens and relax yourself, and it's going to happen. You're just using your eyes to talk to your hands to tell where the ball is going to land. And that is the first major step in learning to juggle. Now, what happens at this step is people will start throwing the balls way out in front of them like that, and you can't actually coordinate your hands if your feet are going all over the place. So what one can do, if you actually do start throwing the balls out in front of you, you go up against a wall. Now, obviously I'm much farther past this step, but if you're throwing them out, they just bounce right back at you. Now, after you've gotten through and have mastered that technique, you can start learning to do the 3-ball cascade, because the 3-ball cascade takes the first and the second principles and applies them to just 3 balls. As one ball falls, the next one goes up, and it continues on. But when you're learning, you have to do it a certain way. You can either do this up against a wall, or if you're just really gutsy, you just do it all out, and you'll eventually get it. I found that without doing it up against a wall, I was able to find myself coordinating my whole body, which is why I'm able to essentially juggle and walk around. But for the third step, you're going to pause after each successful toss and catch. So, and now you hear the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. But you pause, relax, and then you move on to doing it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the 3-ball cascade. But you can't actually continuously do it until you get that first successful toss and catch down. And once you get to this point, it's the same thing. The balls go no higher than my head, and my eyes stay focused at just about the peak of where each ball lies. And my eyes are talking to my hands to tell my hands where the ball is going to land. And now once you've mastered this technique, you can actually throw in 2 other techniques. One of them is the 2-ball cascade. The other is the 2-ball column. And then from there, if you're feeling really skilled, you can throw in a kick. So if you're ever facing up against your worst enemy, remember the 3-ball cascade, and hopefully they'll back down. Or, same goes if it's for an upset boyfriend or girlfriend. Just start juggling in front of them, they won't know what to make. And then, where do I go from there? If you're entertaining royalty, try to mix it up a bit, because they'll really want to be blown away. Throw in the 2-ball cascade, 2-ball column, and then you'll really start blowing people away. But if anybody ever says or accuses you of witchcraft, or being the devil, just smile back at them and imagine that they're just envious of your amazing juggling skills, which I've just shown you today. Thank you.